Farm NBA DFS show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. We're looking at the 8-game Monday main slate on DraftKings. If you play over on FanDuel, well, you got all 15 games open because there's no Tuesday slates. Voting day, part of the NBA's collective bargaining agreement a few years back, was that they would not play games on Tuesdays of voting day so they can open the stadiums and arenas to be available for voting, which is a great thing.
It is
So no games on Tuesday, full slate on Monday, full slate on Wednesday. But again, DraftKings limiting the games here as they've done all so far this season. So you don't have the 9 o'clock and on games on DraftKings, rather. Starts at 7 p.m. Your late night hammer games, Knicks and Rockets at 8:45. Also, this slate is interesting because a new game starts every 15 minutes, which is the first time that we've seen that in a little bit. So again, Milwaukee, Cleveland will set up the roster lock for us there. We got a couple of teams on back-to-backs, right, James?
Yeah, Detroit, second leg, the Brooklyn Nets, second leg, and the third team on a second leg was the Atlanta Hawks. So Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Detroit all in the second leg of back-to-backs.
We appreciate you guys all tuning in. You want to hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share button. It's a free way to support the work we do here. Also, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and let us know your favorite plays, your stacks, your questions. If you hate something that I did, which tends to happen, if you hate something that James did, that's fine too. You can leave those in the chat as well. We'll be happy to respond, interact with you guys throughout before we go live again at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, you also see that 7-day free trial QR code right there on the screen. Start off your Fantasy Alarm experience with 7 days for free. Get access to all of our premium content for all sports, including tonight's NBA DFS playbook written by Cody Cook. So check that out with your 7-day free trial right there. Housekeeping aside, bring up the slate, change the orientation of the screen. There we go. And we got 8 games to talk about. Your top price guys overall, Giannis is $11K. Anthony Davis at 10.8, Trae Young 10.3, and Jayson Tatum at $10,000. Your top 4 price players on the slate. Take us on over to the point guard position. Trae Young, 10.3. John Morant, $9,300. Then we dip down into that 8K range. Talk to me about Trae on the back-to-back and Ja against Brooklyn here at 93.
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've seen from Trae Young just is what we're going to see from Trae Young. When he shoots poorly, there's basically a 50 fantasy point baseline. When he shoots well, there's 30 actual points and 60 to 70 fantasy point upside. So do I think that this is a great spot? No, I do not. Do I think that the same thing applies every time there's a good team versus a bad team? I do. And that is if Trae Young goes nuclear, kind of like we saw LaMelo-ish that on that Friday slate, where he scored like 35 actual, that game was competitive for most of the game. If Trae Young goes out and scores you 35 actual and has 13 assists, well, they could be competitive in this game. I'm not saying they can win, but
no Jaylen Brown in this game for Boston.
But no Jaylen Brown. So I think Trae Young has a incredibly safe floor. Outside of the OKC game, he has been fairly incredible. So perfectly fine getting to Trae. I tweeted the other day, I said, I think on Saturday slate, I think Memphis is getting vastly overlooked by ownership. And they went out and scored 124 points. And I know it wasn't like everyone smashed and they couldn't miss and whatever. But like they've blown teams out now in back-to-back games and just have simply lost minutes in the fray because of blowouts. Yep. I mean, Ja would have played 30 the game against the Bucks. He was on pace to play 34 minutes. Didn't have to, right? They won by $1 billion.
Yep.
The other night, Ja checks out with a minute 30 left. So once again, pacing for 33 minutes. I'm not saying that minute and a half would have made a massive difference.
Sure.
But Ja Morant is a 1.5 fantasy point per minute guy. if he gets you another 2-3 fantasy points, well, we're talking now about potentially 50 versus the 46.
Yeah.
I am perfectly fine getting to John Morant here, shorthanded. I mean, they're playing shorthanded, and now we're out of that window. We have a day off tomorrow or a day off Tuesday for Memphis Grizzlies. And we've seen it. The last 3 games, 29, 29, 31 minutes. The minutes are trending up. They would have been already higher if not for the blowouts the last
Yep.
2 games. And he's looked amazing. I think most notably, the assists and the rebounds for Ja have been better than we've ever seen before. And he's talked about being a point guard this year.
Yeah.
You know, if that's going to be the Ja we get while baked in, we have the vintage 26 fantasy point or 26 actual point games. Well, he has an extremely high ceiling. So I love both Trey and Ja on this slate.
Yeah, for the discounted price. I mean, listen, John Moran. I feel like people almost forgot. To his own detriment, he's only played 15 games over the last 2 years, right? And that's off the court problems, then injuries. But this is a guy, most improved player and MVP candidate. When he was 22 years old.
Yeah.
Averaging 27 a game, 26 a game. The last 2 years he played full seasons. 8.1 assists the last year he played a full season, 5.9 rebounds. The one thing he can't do is he can't shoot threes. He still can't shoot threes.
Yeah, no.
He's just never going to be that guy. He's going to shoot them. He probably shouldn't, but he wants to at least show that he's going to take them to make defenders honest. But he can get to the free throw line. He's really good at shooting free throws. He's really good at getting to the rim. He has one of the best dunks you'll ever go see. Go check out John Moran's dunk. You just type that into YouTube and go check out some of his highlights there. This guy is a legitimate NBA player, scoring threat, and you're getting him at a relatively cheaper price tag at $9,300. We talked about this a lot in the past. This price is just going to escalate as the minutes go up, like you say, and as they find themselves in more competitive games. And he's giving you the 65 fantasy points to 50 plus fantasy points nightly because he's actually playing in these games. So I'm with you here. Now, I don't know if Brooklyn's going to be the competitive game or not. He played 29 minutes. They actually lost that game against Brooklyn earlier this year. Brooklyn has been hit or miss. They're on the back-to-back, and they lost to Detroit on Sunday. But I definitely like Ja at 93. You go down under 9K. Dame played a really good game, good bounce-back game, went from the worst shooting performance of his career to maybe one of his best. He went 10 of 15 from 3 against Cleveland, which is supposed to be a really good defense. 41 actual in that game. In another game, they lost as well. But he hit the shot to give them the lead. And then Donnie Mitch went down and hit the shot that won the game. So nothing against Dame there. Steph is still out, right?
Questionable.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if Steph Curry comes back or not. Probably won't touch him anyways if he does come back, fearing of limitations. De'Aaron Fox, 87. Yeah, Cade. Brunson's there. Jordan Poole's been really good. So, I mean, the Jordan Poole revenge game as well against Golden State. I think you can really play any of these guards, in the 8K range.
No objections to what you just said. I don't, none. I probably, I know Steph's spot is great. I would probably be a little worried there about minutes.
Yeah.
Coming back, but he also doesn't need a lot of minutes to just go absolutely nuclear. So, no objections to anything in the 8K tier for sure.
Yeah. Your 7K range, Dennis Schroeder did get a price bump. He was 6K for a little bit. Now he's up to 7K. Bad shooting night for him against Detroit. Not a great shooting night for him against Chicago either. So maybe the hot streak has ended. What's your take on Schroeder here? Because he was money for about a week.
Yeah, I mean, probably playing a little above his pay grade there, right? I mean, Dennis Schroeder's been a very solid NBA player for a long time. He has never been 33-8, 28-14, 29-6 good. I mean, that is kind of playing out of his mind. I'm a little indifferent about 7K. If you end up getting Dennis Schroeder at $7,000, I think it's fine, but it's nothing more than fine.
Sure. Again, the crazy assist numbers are still kind of pretty good. Just whether or not the shooting comes. Got this matchup here for him against Memphis. So I think highest scoring, you got that going for you. I cannot pay. I don't get the pricing on Van Vliet. He hasn't really paid it off at all this season.
Nope.
I'm more so pointing it out. It's a minutes thing. I'm sure he's not shooting well, but I don't know. I'm waiting for this to drop like $1,000.
Dude, he is shooting 28% from the floor.
Yeah.
I am without looking, I assume that's the worst in the NBA.
Feels like it. Feels like it maybe. It's field goal percentage for a starter playing those minutes. I has to be right.
28% from the floor. I'm just not. I don't believe there's anyone worse.
So blowout obviously limited Sexton to the 26 minutes here, but they're without Clarkson. They probably could be without Lauri Markkanen in here again, but he's going to be questionable. Clarkson's got the plantar fasciitis.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago playing fastest pace in the NBA. One of the fastest team. I think Washington is number one now.
No, Chicago. No, Chicago's still one.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, Chicago's one.
If we think there's a competitive game here with Utah, and he played 26 in the blowout, if Sexton's going to play 30 plus, we won't know. We'll have no idea what Will Hardy's going to do. But this would be a very good spot at $6,400 for Colin Sexton.
It would. The reports are Markkanen's going to be back on this road trip.
Okay.
They don't play again until like Thursday, so they would get this like if Markkanen didn't play, his back's going to be good, right? By Thursday, you have another 3 days off. So I'd say lean towards Markkanen being out, which obviously does put Sexton firmly in play. They just need his offense, dude. Like they just simply need his offense to be better than what it's been. Obviously, like him back in the starting lineup with Clarkson out. Hasn't been great this year, but we know he's a bucket when he gets it going. So I'm good with Colin Sexton. I'd almost now like role reversal. I'd almost feel better about playing Keontae George than I would Colin Sexton. He's a little cheaper. Obviously, he doesn't have the positional eligibility. But again, we've said it a couple times now about Keontae George. Just the minutes are what they are committing to playing this man 30 plus minutes a night. And that is not what we can say about basically anyone else on their roster. Right. So if Keontae George is going to continue to do this, where he's going to play 30 minutes and in a competitive game, which they haven't had many, the ceiling is 36 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I would rather just probably play Keontae George. I understand the appeal is probably more towards Sexton because he's just been a bucket.
The scoring upside feels greater. I will say I do like 11, 9, 10, 7, 8 3-point attempts.
Yes.
He needs to hit them. He's shooting 30%, I think it is. 23%.
23. He's shooting 30 for the year.
For the floor. Yeah, 30 for the floor, 23 from three. So like not great. Love that he's taking them because
Fred VanVleet. So we're Fred VanVleet at 6,100.
True. Yes, I agree with what you were saying. Also, Utah's clearly doing this because they know that Sexton and Clarkson are not long for their organization. So give this kid all the minutes they can at the point guard spot and hope he can turn into a Sexton or a Clarkson. Wanted to touch on them quickly. Didn't want to jump over necessarily Giddey, White, or Hero because, they're all perfectly fine in their own rights here. Giddey, again, flirting with triple doubles, double doubles, incredibly high ceiling, has that Utah matchup, which, again, Utah not good defensively in Giddey's ability to fill the stat sheet there. Now, Levine played through that shoulder injury.
New injury. We have a new injury.
I was going to say, but now he's dealing with an adductor strain. So is he going to play through 2 injuries? Because, I want him to sit down.
So I know.
So we can take some.
He really wants it. Dude, he really just – I feel like he just plays through everything. But how many injuries can you continue to play through? I don't understand. He was 7 for 17 the other day. Not really good. Couldn't grab a rebound, no assists. I don't know. Obviously, if Levine is out, doesn't everything we have said out last Friday apply? We're jamming Bulls. We're jamming Bulls into our lineup. Ayo Dosunmu, who's going to be playing 38 minutes in that scenario. Yep. So, agreed on not going past them. And to your point about Tyler Hero, too, didn't have to play in Mexico City. In the Mexico City game, he played 20 minutes. He had 24 fantasy points. Yeah. He's been balling.
Dude, I wrote up the playbook on Saturday, and I said the Tyler Hero is just this. That of this team, he's the guy that is going. They're just going to lean on him in the regular season. Tyler, go out there, be our leading scorer, take all the shots, do what you have to do. Let Butler and Bam and all those other guys like float around. Like they'll have their days that like you're our number one player during the regular season. And he says, okay, I'll take that mantle on. And we get ridiculous production out of him night in, night out. Doesn't even matter to the opponent. I'm actually shocked that they only played him 20 minutes because usually in these spots, I'm sorry, he fouled out of that game.
Fouled out in 20 minutes.
So he probably would have played all of the minutes because they usually do not rest him. They do not pull him out of blowouts. He plays those games. So at $6,600, Sacramento should be at least a bit of a competitive game. We would hope because they're in Miami, right?
Sacramento lost to the Raptors.
I know. I saw that. But they were on the second leg of a back-to-back. So that was give them a little bit of a pass there.
Sure.
I like Hero a lot. He is so stable and steady.
Yes.
And again, 5-5, 4-6, 5-7. Like you're getting secondary stats to go. The dude has a 34-point actual ceiling. Like he's going to be that guy that leads their team in shots. So I really like him. I think he's a good cash game play, honestly. He feels just super safe and he has that tournament ceiling. And then you have Derek White, no Jaylen Brown.
Yep.
Ho-hum, 37 fantasy points. Even he is not shooting as well as we've seen him shoot in the past. His 3-point shooting this year, sitting 41%. It's pretty good, but the last couple of games, only 34%. Get Atlanta here. He's going to draw the better matchups. Like Dyson Daniels probably isn't on him, I don't think, right? Like so.
No. They're going to put. Well, I guess it depends. Daniels is like 6'5", 6'6". So do you put that on Tatum? Or do you put that on Peyton Pritchard? I mean, what do you?
Well, dude, we'll get the fast PP.
I think I'd assume
you saw the lineup they started, right? They didn't even go Hauser. They went
double big. I would assume Risha Shea would start on Tatum because they've been using him without Daniels as like their.
Well, I asked that Daniels session because Tatum starts at the 3 now in that rotation.
I would assume
you gonna put
Daniels.
Tatum?
I would assume. I mean, you could put we'll just put Daniels on there
no matter what, right? Yeah. So it's not going to be a one-on-one ISO Ricochet. And
love the minutes for Derek White, by the way. The minutes for Derek White this year are definitely looking better than like last year.
But he was always the guy that played last year. That we talked about that too. Like he's the hero of that team. Like doesn't take time off, doesn't get rest. He's on the start the fourth quarter rotation too. So even when there are blowouts, like he's got the Kyrie rotation, right? Where like Luka's off the floor, Kyrie's out there. Jayson Tatum's not on the floor to start the fourth quarter. Yeah. So you lose that quarter with Tatum.
You're getting the whole first and third out of Tatum, right?
Yep. And Derek White's just out there balling, just playing minutes. Played 35 minutes against Charlotte, 124, 109 in that game. Like he doesn't care.
Well, he's the second. Well, I love playing Derek White in any capacity, but he is the second best Boston point guard on the slate. Right?
Yeah. Well, again, where is Pritchard's price?
He's dude. That's too cheap.
They paid this man money, and he's just like, I got you guys. I'll earn that check. We talked about it at 5K the other day, and we're like, well, do you play him? Like him and Trey Mann, yada yada. He didn't even have a good day, but he had 5 steals.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. 1 of 6, 0 for 5 from 3. He bounces right back the very next day. Another 29 minutes, 8 of 15, 6 of 12. I mean, he's a tournament play, obviously, because the 3-point volume is insane.
He's going to play. There's no Jaylen Brown. There's no Kristaps Porzingis.
Yep.
Boston is really just like 7 deep at full, like 8 deep, hoping one of the young guys like develops into something. Pritchard is just in their trust circle. He is just going to play more minutes than mostly everybody that's
not just there. 17, I think, or something like that. Like it's not even Hauser getting run.
It's not close. Dude, it's not close.
Nope.
He is there. He outplayed in terms of minutes, closed in the Indiana game over Drew Holiday. Like it's when we were talking about that, when you start talking about like playing over Drew Holiday in scenarios, like that's just a guy that we can continuously trust. And I was a little skeptical at 5,200. I'm not anymore. I'm not.
Yeah, like there'll be landmine days, but again, his landmine day still got you 23 fantasy points at 5K.
He's shooting 44% from three. He's shooting 92% from three or from the free throw line. There's just nothing that he's not doing right now that without two of Boston's 5 best players wouldn't want me to play him in a scenario where they're playing a Atlanta team that is depleted with injuries and is also on the second leg of a back-to-back. I'm gonna play Peyton Pritchard in that scenario. I just am. I'm just gonna play Peyton Pritchard.
Plus 5,000, most improved player of the year.
Dude, he might win 6th man.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now. I don't see a 6th man of the year award, unfortunately. It was earlier this year. I wish I could find out what those odds were because I would have probably bet the 6th man. I mean, obviously, betting it now. But yeah, it's pretty most improved player though. I mean, this guy goes out and averages like 18 a game this year. I mean, like this is how big of a joke the most improved player of the year award. LaMelo Ball is currently the favorite.
I know it's not fair.
Why? That should be like comeback player of the year, right? Because he got hurt last year. He's not most improved. You know, Jalen Green, maybe Bilal Coulibaly most improved. I could see that. Like, sure. Evan Mobley, Chet Holmgren most improved. Jalen Johnson most improved. Not really. You know, like I don't think those guys are most. Jalen Suggs most improved at plus 2,200. I could bet that.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Grady Dix plus 3K, plus 3,000. That's not terrible, but like, yeah, I'm not buying LaMelo at plus 1,000. That doesn't make any damn sense. So, and then whatever the clutch award is, there's a clutch player of the year.
Yeah, they've been doing it. 2 years ago was De'Aaron Fox. I don't know who won.
Joker's got Joker's plus 700 right now. So, anyways, yeah, if there was a bet on Peyton Pritchard for 6th man, like 6th man for the championship team, might go out and average 16 plus a game. Could definitely be that guy. Who won it last year? Was it Monk?
Naz Reid.
All right, Naz Reid. Monk was up there, I think. All right, so we skipped down to Peyton Pritchard, obviously, but there are guys down in this mid-tier range. Scottie Pippen, 6K. Dyson Daniels is $5,800. The aforementioned Monk is there. Any of those fancy for you?
Yeah, I mean, Pippen's, if you get Pippen on a ceiling day, he's given you 43 times in the last 5 games. If you play Scottie Pippen, he gives you 40, you're happy. Just, you know, the minutes will be fluctuating between 20 and 30. Dyson Daniels was good in his return. He played just 25 minutes. He was a little foul trouble early, but 16, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal in his return. 7 for 10 from the floor. I just don't love the seemingly limited minutes that he played. Sure. Again, just 25. So, Monk was excellent off the bench. I'd be highly interested in Malik Monk if Kevin Porter's ruled out again.
Right.
Because they ended up starting Dougie McBuckets. The whole field was on Keon Ellis, thinking Keon Ellis would start. Keon Ellis did not. Nope. He did play a lot.
27 minutes.
He did play a lot. So, like, I think both those Kings point guard options would be in play. Monk played 38 minutes. Obviously, there was overtime, but yeah, I would like Monk in that scenario.
Yeah, Io's still getting a lot of minutes, you know. So, I mean, it could just be a spot to play him regardless if you wanted at 4,500, but obviously Levine, there'd be more run for him. You have McBride still playing 28, 25 minutes off that bench there in that game. Now, that was a blowout, but still, we like McBride because he's going to at least get some extended run in those minutes. But that was also the weird game where they subbed Towns and everybody back on the floor, if you remember.
Dude,
like,
I mean, we're up
30. They just put Bridges and Towns back in. It didn't make
Dude, I was sweating the Josh Hart double-double that he didn't even need because he ended up getting there anyway. But I was like, oh, when are they? Oh, this is it. This timeout. No, this dead ball. He's coming out. No, we're just okay. Sure.
It was like Luka tonight playing, subbing in and playing up 30. Made no sense. All right, shooting guard. Donnie Mitch is $8,200 again, dude. I wrote it up. I said $8,200 is too cheap for him. He had 30 actual. He didn't really give you any of the other peripheral stats. There's a ceiling here though at 8,200 in this matchup. There is. They're favorites at home. If they're going to play a competitive game, Milwaukee was like 5th in pace, I think. So like a pace up spot for Cleveland here. And they don't play defense. So like I like Donovan Mitchell at $8,200. That I know that I am the Donovan Mitchell jinx going back decades, but our boy Aaron Gordon's also playing well. So
Aaron Gordon is going nuclear.
So yeah, we'll see. FanDuel slate for Aaron Gordon. Sorry, I can't play him on DraftKings.
Yeah,
God forbid. Jordan Poole revenge game.
Yep.
Got him 7,800.
He's been great.
He's been really good.
He's been great.
Jalen Green was terrible. Got benched in that last game. Came back in. Still didn't play well. 2 of 13. Played long stretches.
Well, you can't do anything when Tari Eason's doing what Tari.
I was gonna say he was on the bench for a very long time in that game. They subbed him back in at the very end. Played the final couple of minutes. Tari Eason went just insane levels of play. Cam Thomas also had a really good day the other day against Chicago. No rebounds, but had 32 actual because he'll do that.
Yep.
If you pick the game, maybe Memphis is that spot. You can pop off for you in tournaments there. Talked all of these other guards. Buddy Hield. I guess if there's no
Curry.
And
Wiggins is questionable as well.
Yeah.
Wiggins is probable. He's probable. Yeah.
But Washington's horrific. So
they are bad. Podziemski's been playing so many minutes. So like you could play any of these Warriors if Curry's out. If Curry plays, you can't.
I just looked at the schedule. Sorry to cut you off there. Golden State plays Boston on Wednesday.
Okay.
Does Curry play as a tune-up for Boston in this game, or does he just come back against Boston?
That's a good one. I would say there's probably more. I know it's an ankle again, with all these ankle injuries that he's always had. But I don't know if you saw the clip of him imitating Kyle Anderson on the sidelines the other day, and he was doing the Euro step in slow motion because Kyle Anderson
slow-mo.
He looked perfectly fine. He was doing it on both ankles, but like again, doing it slow. I don't know. I don't have a read on it, but we haven't. Curry's just been out, and now he's questionable, right? So it's obviously a pretty good step in the right direction.
Agreed.
Seems like he might play, but obviously they probably feel good about winning this game without him.
That's kind of how I feel too. So I'm kind of in that same boat there. Not going to play Levine even if he's active. I know it's a great spot, but he's too hurt right now.
Yeah, no, he's too hurt.
Get Bods. We've talked Mikal Bridges. I've dogged him a little bit. But if they're just going to play him in 30-point blowouts, 35 minutes and 40 minutes, I don't know. I mean, the price is fine. He's outperforming the 5X. So
it's Josh Hart again for the Knicks. It's Josh Hart again in a different way. He's getting all the peripheral stats that we need, and he's getting us way over. Dude, he smashed 6,200. He smashed the last 3 games.
Yeah.
He'll 5X
over 6X in all 3 of those games.
Yeah, then again, you could play Mikal Bridges, or you could play Bilal Coulibaly, who I don't know what happened to this guy. But
he grew 4 inches.
That's fair. Washington seemingly drafts. I can't wait to see what Alex Sarr's 7'6" going into next year.
Well, you showed me the quote. Keyshawn George is I had my growth plate, so I can grow another 4 inches. Like, huh? Maybe 6'10"
after growing into this, it's like what? Well, obviously, Coulibaly was this defensive wizard that played on the same French team as Wemby, and that was but it has to grow into his offense. This is very fast growing into your offense. He's averaging 20 a game. He's almost at 20 a game.
Yeah.
Bilal Coulibaly is averaging his age. I think he's 20, 21 years old still. It's crazy how good. And obviously the last 2 games have been without Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma's out again here. And look at every game. 30-plus minutes in all 5 games. Lost by 20, plays 33. Lost by 19, plays 35. He's just getting all the possible run we can imagine. And he heard us talk crap about his 2 shot attempts on opening night. And it's
2 shot attempts on opening night, and he still had 25 fantasy points.
Right? 25 fantasy points.
Yep. No, I agree with you. 100%. He was the number 3 pick last year?
4?
4, something like that in that range. Top 5. The defense is there. Love seeing the rebounding. You got to read. They don't really have a like a guy that's going to dominate the glass. So we say it all the time, rebounding is effort. If Koulibaly is going to put the effort into rebounding, fantastic. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good going here. $5,700. Wiggins is right there. I played 31 in his return. It wasn't a great game for him against Houston, but should be a better spot against the Wizards. Got him. What are we doing with Wells? Jalen Wells came in. Another solid outing for him.
If he's starting, no one's going to play him. No one played him the other day.
Nobody
if
played
he's 36 minutes in back-to-back games. He's making 3-point shots. He is going to be open all the time because John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. exist in the world. Like, he's just going to continue to get good looks. So if you want to click Jalen Wells' name, I can't fault you for it. Will he have as many shooting up? Like, him and Corey Kispert look a lot alike, right? If you're talking about ownership, I'd probably just play like the lower owned play because in a competitive game, Kispert's going to take 15 shots we saw, and they're going to be all 3-pointers. So if they fall, they fall. Bub Carrington looks pretty good, $4,600. He's been playing better since like re-entering the starting lineup. No Kuzma.
When the whole world played him against Boston on opening night, and he just bombed.
Yeah, he just drops a goose egg. But I mean, 29, 32 fantasy points. The peripheral stats have obviously been great. Would like more shots, but
another guy that's just going to be on the floor no matter what the score is as well.
Exactly.
They just have to develop these guys by playing. So,
bingo.
I'm with you there. Zaire Williams, 16 minutes. The wheels fell off for him. I was hopeful it wasn't there. Didn't get the run. Anybody else for us down here? Tim Hardaway Jr. has been playing a lot of minutes. You called him out the last show. Production's been hit or miss for him. Garrison Matthews had another good day today. Shooting the 3 of 6, played 20 minutes. Guys came back, so minutes came down a little bit, but it was hot the other day off the bench. Got Moody here. Merrill played 22 minutes. No, if LeVert's out again, could be his spot here.
Yep. I like the if LeVert out going to Merrill. We need the shots to fall, but he's played 20 minutes in 5 straight games. He's $3,600.
Agreed.
Milwaukee doesn't play any defense. I'd also agree on Merrill. Johnny Juzeg, $3,500 for Utah. Played 27 minutes off the bench. Scored 25.5 fantasy points. Another guy who needs to make shots, but Johnny Juzeg's okay as well.
Okay. I did see that he played in that game. Small forward. Again, JT's 10K, gets Atlanta.
Love it.
No Jaylen Brown.
Love it.
I'm with you.
He's gonna be super popular. He should be, and Atlanta has no chance to guard him.
Couple of vintage LeBron games over the last week. I don't know when it's going to come. Neither do you. So if you pick the right day, congratulations. You could get 70, you could get 30. That's just the way the season's going to go because everything is running through Anthony Davis. So that's just the way this season is trending right now. It's a great spot for LeBron. I have no problems. If you build a lineup with LeBron James, again, by all means. But it's very difficult to go into a slate with a healthy Anthony Davis and be like, I am playing LeBron James tonight. That just feels too difficult to do.
Could not agree more.
Let's see. You got DDR, got buckets. Any of these mid-tier guys for you?
Dude, DeMar DeRozan's been really good. And like, obviously we didn't have any idea what the hierarchy would be, but it doesn't matter when you play 43, 39 minutes in back-to-back games. It just does not. Hierarchy doesn't matter. DeMar DeRozan's going to take a bunch of shots, and apparently he's just going to get 3 steals a game. That's a thing that DeMar DeRozan does now. And yeah, DeRozan's pretty good. On the flip side, I think this is a great matchup for Jimmy Butler. Didn't need to play in that Washington game. Didn't play well in the Knicks game, but we had talked about how well he had been playing previously. So yeah, I'm okay with DeRozan. I'm okay with Butler. And then I have liked what I've seen from Kuminga off the bench. Definite signs of life, but I still think 62 is probably too expensive for him if he comes off the bench. And why would you play him when you can just play Josh Hart, who again, he had a awful first half. He had like 2-1 and 2 with like a steal.
We were tilting it together.
I messaged him, I'm like, damn, this is the game. And then he just did what Josh Hart does and stumbles his way into 6x, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
The game where we did a show before where we're like, if anybody's telling you not to play Josh Hart, stop listening to them, come listen to us. And he goes out there and lays an egg in the corner. I'm like, we're gonna look pretty bad here.
Did you
And
just play
then
that? Was that a sound clip that you just played from the Friday show? Because that was
no,
like
it's
word
pretty
for
close.
word, verbatim.
I will say I watched a lot of other shows throughout the day because why not? Like I like to absorb knowledge and be a person on that.
Right.
A lot of people were also touting Josh Hart, so groupthink by the DFS community there, and we were probably all collectively being like, "This is a spot against Detroit. You're going to do nothing." And then we forgot that he plays 37 minutes no matter
Yeah,
what,
up
and
30.
and he got there. So yeah, go play Josh Hart. Totally cool. Not a big deal. Your boy Cam J, 26 actual, can't do it again. We'll find out. Gets Memphis here. Here's the
Back-to-back
key.
scary season.
Here's the thing. 40, 35, 32 in 30
Yeah,
minutes.
It's been great.
For a guy that has dealt with injuries and whatever, but good spot from there at $5,800.
Yep.
Koulibaly is there. We've talked about this. I did say on the Friday show that OG would be the only Nick I wouldn't play. He had a season high 21 points, scored 40 fantasy points. I will contend again that OG Anunoby would be the only Nick I don't play. You can play
doubling down, love it.
You can play him if you want. I'm not playing OG Anunoby. You got Hachimura here. Eamon Thompson was really good in that game. He was again one of the reasons why Jalen Green for a while was just chilling on the bench. I would like to think they're going to start giving this guy more minutes, but I don't know who in place of. So
yeah, it's tough, right? Because they have like
they have one of
seven.
the funnest benches of all time. Tyler Eason, Cam Whitmore, Eamon Thompson, Jock Landale. They don't play any of them, but they're all
Reed Shepard.
Yeah.
I mean, like they have 7 starters, right? Because like Eason and Amen Thompson would start for a ton of teams.
Oh yeah.
They just are unfortunately they paid Dylan Brooks too much money, and they
They got
paid Van
Jabari in
Vliet.
the lottery. They got
Yeah,
Jalen Green in the lottery. They paid Fred VanVleet probably too much money at this point.
yeah. I mean, so like I would love to play Amen Thompson. I would love to look at Tari Eason's 35 minutes and be like, wow, Tari Eason played 35 minutes. Like, yeah, if he plays 35 minutes, he'll average 50 fantasy points. Like, but it's just not based on what we've seen. Udoka's going right back to the starters for 35 plus if this game's competitive, right? So
Now Şengün left that game, right?
yeah, he came back.
He did come back.
He started the second half.
I was gonna say because if Şengün was out there, it would maybe been a chance. Until then, I guess not. Yeah, man, we were Tower Eason based off his summer league games 2 years ago as a rookie. We're like, dude, this guy was a menace, and then he was a menace the whole time. Jake Laravia, tournaments, yeah, always because he's gonna play 20 minutes, and then there's obviously chances where he gets hot, and Ime is like, all right, like you can stay on the floor, that's fine. Yeah. Laravia started. He only played 26 minutes.
No, he did not. It was a dupe, and so I'm a little salty.
Bad lineup advice. Yeah.
I tweeted about the Memphis thing.
Yeah.
Memphis releases its starting lineup. Jake Laravia starting. Santi Aldama not.
Right.
Great. One's $1,000 cheaper than the other one. One's starting and is $1,000 cheaper. 701 lineup change. Santi Aldama starting over Jake Laravia. Yep. I had Santi in my original lineup. He had. Yep, I swapped it.
They did that to us. Okay, so Memphis was going to start being the 701 team because remember they ruled Ja out at 701 and locked in everybody. We had to make some late swaps to get Scottie Pippen in our lineup there. So be on the lookout for Memphis at 701.
If there's something that looks weird about the Memphis starting lineup and everyone like status quo from the day before, they're not changing anything. Don't fucking buy it. Oh, I just dropped an F-bomb. Wow, that's 2 shows in a row.
I know.
Oh no.
This is supposed to be a PG rated show. I guess we have to put the PG-13 rating on it now.
Yeah, we gotta bump it up.
Oh well. We'll try not to swear. We apologize to all the children that may be in the room while you guys are listening to this.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang nabbit.
Fudgicles, man. Anyways. Ricochet, probably not gonna go there with the Celtics matchup.
Keyshawn George, another cheap Washington guy. He's the one that's been shooting a little bit more than Bub Carrington.
Yeah.
Also another peripheral guy that's
Steals and blocks look good.
Yeah, been pretty good. So I think that is a direction we'd like to go.
3 games in the last 4, he has 3 blocks or 3 steals or 4. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. This guy's supposed to grow another 4 inches. Anything else done here?
No.
They play Sensabaugh 16 minutes.
They're a mess. They're an absolute mess.
Power forward. Giannis is 11K. Giannis is very good. Giannis wants to be traded.
He does, and yes, and he does, to answer both those statements.
You can play him.
Yeah.
You can play him.
Against anybody.
Against anybody. He is playing his hardest for a team that is basically already out of it.
Dude, if you're going to get 39 minutes of Giannis, it is hard to fade. Point blank statement, doesn't matter who it's against. If Giannis is going to play 40 minutes a night, then he is just really hard to fade.
Yeah.
They were down 30 in that Memphis game trying to come back with him on the floor, just willing his team to. He scored 37 in a 23-point loss. I mean, if you want to play Giannis and Antetokounmpo, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Tatum, James already. Would you do Jalen Johnson in this matchup? He's obviously been very, very good, but I know sometimes we overstate matchups here. Are you worried about Boston at all?
If Boston goes double big, they are in trouble against this dude.
Al Horford, you don't think can hang with some Jalen Johnson?
Jalen Johnson is I understand. I'm not trying to underrate Al Horford's athleticism. Jalen Johnson is going to.
He's an old man.
Is going to run laps around Al Horford. And again, that's not disrespecting Al Horford. He's 40. Jalen Johnson is not 40 and is the most athletic person on every floor.
Well, how many assists 3 of the last 4 games? 7, 9, and 8?
Dude, he is an elite basketball player. He is just a complete basketball player. It just is what it is. Again, his slow start was just kind of slow because he wasn't shooting well. And we've now seen the boom games are just, you have to have him. He is in the 3 games that he scored 20 points or more, he scored 50 plus fantasy points.
Was this just Keegan?
Yeah. Yeah.
4 of 10. They just
Keegan's
him out.
that good, dude. Keegan is that good. He is.
Keegan Murray just iced him out there. Triple J, 31 minutes. Good to see. First time over 30. Got 45 fantasy points out of that. Obviously, we'll have to contend with the Brooklyn front court, which we'll boast Claxton for a little bit.
Too cheap.
Too cheap. I agree with you. $7,400. Mobley, again, tougher spot against Milwaukee. Probably not going to go back to that with Giannis.
Yeah.
John Collins played 22 minutes.
He also had 3 fouls in the first 10 seconds he was on the floor, so it's kind of not an idea.
Should be a better spot for him.
It should be. I like this little range here. Collins, Keegan Murray's been just super, super solid. And Santi Aldama has been super, super solid outside of.
Where are these rebounds coming from, Keegan Murray? He didn't do that last year, man.
Dude, and
he's starting to look like a little bit, right?
Who are you starting to look like here?
Michael Porter Jr.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
Like this.
Little blocks, 3-point shots, double rebounds.
And he's already way surpassed him in minutes and is just an elite defender. But the rebounds and the shots are very Michael Porter-ish.
Right. Who's also been coming around, having some good games lately after we scolded him for not shooting threes as well.
Yeah, he's been freaking lighting the world on fire the last few games.
Yep.
Santi Aldama.
Sandy's there. Assuming he starts or doesn't start or is reportedly starting or reportedly coming off the bench should be fine, regardless of whatever way that plays.
Draymond. If there's no Curry, Draymond's been really good.
Yep. Okay.
30. I was very surprised to see Draymond play 35 minutes. And I know there was overtime in that game, and there shouldn't have been. But I was shocked to see 35 minutes.
Did you see that Bobby Portis' house got robbed?
I did not see that Bobby Portis' house got robbed.
So during this game in Cleveland, while they were playing Cleveland, his house was robbed, and they took what he said is a lot of his valuable and prized possessions. And that if you have information, please email him at info@bobbyportis.com, where any leads to the recovery of his stolen items will lead to a handsome reward.
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Did he tweet that?
Yeah, tweeted a video.
Good for him. Well, not.
So,
I hope he gets his stuff back.
if you have any leads on the stolen items, you out there watching this DFS show right now, if you know anything about those who broke into Bobby Portis' home, info@bobbyportis.com. If your information leads to the recovery of any of his missing items, he will reward you handsomely.
So those in the Milwaukee area,
Yep.
reach out to Bobby Poe.
Yep. It'd be pretty hard to pawn a 2020 21 NBA championship ring, probably,
Yeah.
without being found out. But poor guy. Had the security camera. They blew out the front door, and team of people went in there and just.
I think that happened to Walker Bueller during this recent postseason run, and then he got shelled the next day.
It's too bad. These athletes, man, right? Like you hear it all the time. People like break into their house and steal their stuff because they know that they know when they're not home, right?
I just don't understand, there are very good security systems in the world and very good ways.
A lot of these guys were in gated communities, and it didn't matter. House got stolen. Sarr is here, as you mentioned. 27 minutes for him. Starting to look good. Again, second overall pick. Starting to look good.
A lot of block shots.
Washington's a fun bad team. That's where they're rising to the level of fun bad.
I agree. Well, dude, they have so many young, pretty talented players when you look at the landscape. I wouldn't be surprised if Kuzma's going to get dealt, and there's just going to be a lot of trades. They're just going to look in 2 years. They're going to have so much young talent because they're going to get a lot for Kuzma wherever he goes.
Jordan Poole settling into the Bradley Beal era where Bradley Beal was the best player on this awful team. They'll move on from Kuzma, and then they'll have Jordan Poole hanging around being the leading scorer for a bad basketball team of just young guys that maybe some will develop and they'll be good. Who knows?
Yep.
But Sarr, FanDuel, dude, play this dude. 4-4-2-2-2 1-1-1 there. Play those stats over in FanDuel.
Yep.
Let's see. Gonku is out today. I don't know if he'll play or not on the back-to-back.
I think he will. He sat the last back-to-back, but he played the second game.
Filipowski minutes not great there. 18.
No.
Got Laravia, Horford, Eason, DFS. Any of these guys for you?
No. I think it's all tournament lineup filler.
Yeah.
I guess if we were to get news that Kongwu didn't play, Larry Nance played 25 minutes.
Sure.
And if you remember, it was the Washington game where the first one where Kongwu didn't play and he played 23 minutes. And he played more than Capella in both these games, or even two less minutes than Capella in the Washington game, 2 more minutes than Capella.
He just takes the Okonkwo role. He's just a backup center.
So, and 3,900, look at the production in the 2 games that he's been extended, right? So, if Okongwu doesn't play, then yes, Larry Nance would probably be the name for me.
Okay. Center we go. Anthony Davis, there really isn't another answer to this. Listed as probable. He's been ridiculous. He's got Detroit. They're going to feed him the basketball. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I don't think the Lakers are good enough to really blow anybody out. So, I think Detroit's good enough to hang around at the current iteration.
Sure.
Yeah, right. They got some veterans now. Cade's coming, obviously elevated his game. Jaden Ivey's looking better. Durant had a big double today, 17 rebounds, 14 points or something like that. So you're going to get 36 plus minutes at AD. He's going to go for 60. He's just going to go for 60.
Yep. Nothing else. The Lakers are 27th in defense, so they will give up points.
Yeah.
If the Raptors or if the Pistons want to make some shots, I mean, they will give up points. And like the crazy thing about AD is like every night you're getting the points, you're getting the rebounds, you're getting the blocks and steals. Like it is just there's none of those things. He does not take a night off from any of those things.
The only thing we're not getting, which we were promised, is the 3-point
The
shooting.
threes, yes, it's annoying. Give us more threes.
Give us threes.
Dude,
Or don't. Whatever.
Bam made 3 threes the other night. He's extending his like these guys. We were promised these bigs would start taking threes.
I mean, he went over 2 for the first 4 games of the year. Ceiling game though, we knew the ceiling game was coming in this one though. Speaking of ceiling games, Towns 65, 53. Got the full minutes here, obviously, in this one. Check back in on this one. Still only played 27 minutes, but they did check him back in. Şengün's really not a good defender. So Towns could just eat, I think, in this spot.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see the Twitter debate on Sunday about Karl Anthony Towns? I forget what media personality posed the question, but the question was basically like, what can't Karl Anthony Towns do that Jokic? What does Jokic do better than Towns outside of pass?
I mean, probably rebound. It's probably a better pure rebounder. I know the rebound numbers are similar, but I feel like Jokic is a better rebounder.
I think it's an interesting question. Like Towns is shooting almost 70% from 3. Obviously, that's not going to be sustainable.
No,
I think he's clearly a better shooter, and like.
What did you think of Jokic doing the corner fadeaway 3 over Gobert?
I mean, that was
like that. Like he's taking him off the dribble. That's not what you think of Jokic for threes.
I mean, like I'm fine with Jokic. Like Jokic is elite.
Yeah,
as a ball handler, like he brings the ball up more than I would say, like or equal to like Jamal Murray or something, right? But that is a little
like corner step back fadeaway 3 over Gobert there.
I also just never will. I just don't. I don't know. I don't disagree, or I don't agree with the question. Obviously Jokic is a 3-time MVP.
Yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns is
Towns is really good. He'll have the minutes to be able to give him some stats. I like the AK price here. I don't
love the price.
And if this game is again any level of competitiveness, you're going to get apparently 39 minutes out of Towns, which just helps the ceiling. Vuk has been eating, and this price is too cheap, and this matchup against Utah is too good. This feels like a day where I play 3 lineups. Because I want to get these centers. I want to get these centers in my lineup. Like
there's a lot of really good center options, huh?
A lot of really good center options here. Where do you go next? I played Claxton the other day. Was pretty disappointed. But I mean,
yeah,
I thought we were going to get a minutes ramp up. I know he's been in foul trouble. I don't know what to do here.
So I assume we get Ben Simmons out of the lineup here, but obviously that's not confirmed. Well, I guess it is because they said, Ben Simmons is out. So I assume Claxton re-enters the starting lineup. We will see. We've seen Noah Clowney start in this place. I'm okay with it. We had the Walker Kessler game the other day because that happens every once in a while. But he had 18, 14, and 5. So Walker Kessler 62 is solid. Jalen Duren. 3 slates ago fouled out in 11 minutes.
Yes, he did.
That is like a super special talent to foul out in 11 minutes. So
you know what? Like Drummond didn't even have a good game in that game. So like I don't know who was just Maxey just putting his head down and into his chest.
No chance. Just no chance. So like super worried about the AD, but like the price is super amazing if you can stay out of foul trouble.
I feel like Sarr is probably the better play there.
Agreed. Edie has kind of been pretty good, like in back-to-back games.
Yeah, for the price, he's worked out
because
we get more shot blocks out of him, but then he's not playing all the minutes. So the problem is Triple J hurts him because Triple J can slide to the center, and Aldama and Laravia will go on the floor.
Sure,
throws off the rotation there.
I don't think they're. I don't think.
Murder Cornette played 30 minutes against Charlotte.
I forgot that we're recording. Yeah.
He's gonna start, right? Like
Go JB.
If we think they go double big here, they do this lineup.
I wonder if they that is a good question because what the Hawks do with Jalen Johnson at the 4. I don't know. I guess you could stick like Horford on Ricochet or something like that. Where
I mean, they could listen. Hauser is a capable defender. They could start Hauser at the.
I was gonna say maybe you go fast PP, just like earned a start here, but yeah, they could. Hauser was the guy who usually started last.
Yeah, Hauser played 20 minutes off the bench the other day, had 19 fantasy points. Now we've been down this road with Sam Hauser plenty of times. He's 3,800. He enters the starting lineup. Everybody plays him, and he doesn't shoot. So like,
and he doesn't shoot.
He doesn't shoot. So
and he's a good rebounder who doesn't rebound either.
You get him off the bench though, and he knocks down 4 threes. He grabs 4 rebounds. He has like a block. You're like, he can do this more in 35 minutes. No, he doesn't. He just. I would play whichever one starts.
Okay, agreed.
You mentioned Nance is already there. We talked about that. If there's no Okongwu, do you think
Clowney start? Does Clowney start over Claxton?
I don't care. Does it even matter? Like I don't know. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Not playing Clowney. All right. Let's what Jalen Smith do? Nothing.
You know who we Jay Huff had a monster game the other day. I'm not saying play Jay Huff, but I mean that's a crazy
20 and 5 in 14 minutes. What is happening?
Crazy no. And he dressed as Kyle Kuzma in his Halloween costume. You know the Kuzma pink shirt where he had those like long sleeves. He dressed as Kyle Kuzma for Halloween. It was pretty funny.
Hilarious. All right, we talked a lot on the show.
We did.
Did we decide where we wanted to go?
Anthony Davis.
Okay.
Is that a good starting point? I feel like that's a pretty
80 is a good starting point.
Center.
I
feel pretty good about that contrarian play right there.
Yeah. We doing Keontae here? 61?
Yeah. Fast PP. I guess the Boston stuff.
I mean, there is.
It is the Boston things, right? Like all the Boston things.
Can we fit 2? We might be able to. Tatum AD, small forward.
Or if we don't want to do the Tatum, we could always go up from George to White and play like White Pritchard as in a Boston stack.
And how confident are you in Keyshawn here?
I mean, I'm fairly confident that he will play a bunch of minutes because Kuzma's out.
It's a tournament lineup. You get some value in there. Gives us 4,600 for a guard play. Got McBride. Got DeSumo. Could play him. Carrington's also there.
Yeah, I mean, like the McBride thing for me, I would just play Carrington only because the minutes, but
just play Io or Carrington.
I would probably play Carrington, but that would swap if
correct.
Zach LaVine was ruled out.
So we're still kind of in this range. I wish there was like a better true value play that we could just plug.
Yeah, I don't think that there was.
Would you pick if you had to pick one of Tatum or AD then? Because we could do Tatum and then go play like Vucevic or something like that.
Yeah, I would say that works, or you pivot off Tatum and you play Derek White, right? That's like one of the 2 options. Like you still want Boston, you still want.
I feel like the Tatum Vucevic combo gives you 2 guys that can go for 50.
50, yeah. We'll take one guy can go for 50 and one go for 70.
Sure. Vuk or Towns?
Man, Vooch has been so good, but we haven't even gotten Towns in like other than one game. I mean, they've only had to play like he's only been able to be extended once.
One game, yeah.
I'll say he's so foul happy. Şengün is a nightmare. Towns has a higher ceiling than Vooch.
Yep, I agree. All right, so now we have 6,100. Could still go Derek White here, honestly, if you wanted to. Josh Hart, 61. Play double Knicks. Koulibaly. Do we play 3 Wizards? Honestly, it's Sarr.
Three Wizards. I think Golden State ranks like first in defense. They're
Yeah.
second in defense. Yeah,
If we get rid of Carrington because we're playing Keyshawn George here, can go Healed 66.
okay.
We have 5,100 Jalen Wells, Laravia, Kispert, Ricochet.
We're like so. Honestly, like if Kevin Herter played, it'd probably be Kevin Herter because the minutes have been pretty good for him.
I mean, we could just do this and just play whichever ends up being.
True. I'm perfectly fine playing three Celtics as well.
Yeah, go Hauser or Cornette. They're the same price, I think, right? Both 3,900. Hauser is 35. He's even cheaper. So whichever one starts, just play that one, I guess, and then that'll give us a forward for 63.
Santi.
Which is Santi. Yeah, Santi's right there. Example lineup. We got Tatum and Towns, and they're heading it up. We got 2K Georges. You have Keontae, Pritchard, Keyshawn.
Yeah, Keyshawn.
Towns, Tatum, Healed, Aldama, and Cornette / Hauser. Whichever one ends up starting their example lineup for everybody. Again, Cody Cook's got your playbook. James and I will be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time. We appreciate you all tuning in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, and we'll see you at 5 o'clock.